about that.
This is about that.
It's about finishing the war.
It's about finishing the war properly.
Is this you talking?
What do you mean?
I think perhaps this is something you forgot to mention. I refer to a Foreign Office memo released a few days ago, and I quote, "It can now be said with some definiteness that we are better off with things as they are today than if the plot of 20th of July had succeeded and Hitler had been assassinated." That was why you had to rush off for that meeting that day, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't.
Wasn't it? Miss Cathcart, please answer the following yes or no. As an intelligence officer, you have been asked to provide us with information.
Yes, sir.
As an intelligence officer, you work not for the S.O.E, but the S.I.S.
Yes, sir.
Is that a conflict of interest?
There should be none, sir.
Have you been told to pull in the reins in this operation since the Stauffenberg bomb?
You are devising a plan that needs to be thorough, sir. There are greater strategic considerations that should inform your planning, and I'm here to ensure that you're aware of these things. If the plan is inadequate, there's more at stake than just this operation.
Thank you, Miss Cathcart. Sandra, please add. The information available regarding the Führerzug and its movements is nothing like complete or precise. A final check-up on the spot by the operatives or the leader is stressed.
We have a staff officer who hears about various things going on within the organisation, and he's just gone through this. Well, maybe we could do this. Oh, I read about that once. Perhaps we can do this. I mean, the idea of an agent standing on a platform with a bomb that he either has to have already set going or he has to initiate at some point as a train is rattling through at goodness knows how many kilometres an hour, and either manages to throw it so that it derails the train or detonates underneath Hitler's carriage. I mean, he's absolutely crackers.
Progress reports were submitted to my boss, Thornley, and rumour was that he was not impressed. But there is a huge gap between planning and actual operation. The train plans were not the plans, just one possibility for action. There were other options for assassinating Hitler, and I would find one.
The best thing about this is there's no known antidote. Absolutely none. Take it and you're dead, completely dead. We've used anthrax, cyanide, botulinum, even a few without common names. They're all available, all tried and tested. But this beauty's little genius is taken in a sufficiently lethal dose. It's tasteless and odourless, and neither hard nor soft water is visibly affected.
Black coffee?
Ah, watch. Nothing.
Tea. Goblet with milk. He always has milk with his tea.
Anyone I know?
Unlikely.
You never know.
Poison could be the best option. Hitler's food was supplied by home farms where everything was monitored and tasted. But on his train, water was taken on at stations without being checked. There was a flaw in his security. Interference with the drinking and cooking water is the only clandestine means which offers itself. It might be possible for an operative to introduce the medium at night into the water tank in the form of a a strong solution, which the jolting of the train would distribute evenly in the water.
The water one is an interesting one because it can only be done from someone on the inside.
Yeah.
And that in itself creates all sorts of problems trying to infiltrate his sort of close protection team, etc., which I think is pretty impossible, really, unless you're going to poison the water away from, you know where the source is coming from. Again, a lot of detailed research, a lot of time spent on the ground, and could they afford to have someone just looking at poisoning the water, having them on the ground for 6 months?
The plan to poison Hitler was too ambitious, maybe impossible. I would have to find another alternative. In the west, the Allies were now approaching Paris. In the east, the Russians were liberating town after town. German defeat looked inevitable, and the more it looked like victory would be won on the battlefield, the less anyone was interested in assassination. S.I.S. were especially fearful of what would happen in Germany if Hitler was killed. They wanted unconditional surrender, and Hitler being killed at this time might threaten that. As a result, the whole future of Operation Foxley was in question. I suppose you heard what Churchill said about assassination attempts. Decisive as they may be one of these days, it is not in them that we should place our trust, but in our own strong arms and the justice of our cause. Them. He's talking about us. An assassination attempt.
It's just to boost morale.
It hardly helps with ours. I hear there's a certain amount of skepticism about the plans that I'm suggesting. You don't have to answer.
I think we should look into the possibility of using a sniper.
Yes.
You know, there's a rumour that in 1938 the British attaché in Berlin suggested that.
Why wasn't it taken up?
You can't just kill someone because of what they might do in the future. Assassination's hard to justify when you're not at war. It's generally called murder.
We've been at war for 4 years, and this prevarication is beginning to feel like murder to me. You know, 5 years ago, if someone said to me, I've lost someone I love, I'd have said, oh my God, I'm sorry. Now it's just me too. Every single person I know has lost someone.
That's why I agree we should get rid of Hitler. But we should also get rid of Nazism for good.
Yes.
So we really are saying the same thing.
We are.